Hi, and welcome to class 4. This is yoga and stretching for dental professionals, and specifically, this class focused on the lower back, the hips, the legs, and a little bit of the feet. This class and the next class should be fairly straightforward and pretty quick. I wanted to start though by talking about ergonomics. When you're sitting, your torso to your thighs should be about a 90-degree angle. They are recommending now, though, that you sit a little bit higher than your knees and you actually tilt your chair a little bit forward. Along with that, your back should still be against the backrest of your chair, and you want to avoid leaning forward with your body. Also, with your hips, as seen in picture C, kind of towards the bottom or her hip line, you don't want to be tilted on your hips too far to one side or too far to the other. You want your hips to be fairly evenly placed on your chair. So let's go over a few poses here. This pose is triangle pose. And this pose is supposed to be a little bit of a spinal twist. So with your feet spread apart, you're going to place one hand somewhere on your leg, not on your knee though, either your shin or your thigh. You're going to extend the other arm straight up into the air and look up at your fingertips. This pose can be more or less challenging depending on how far you spread your legs. Now, during the stretching session that we did for class 4, we also did all of the warrior poses. Those poses are really good for your legs and your hips and your back, your lower back especially. But those are not going to be anything that we test on. Just this triangle pose, which we included in part of our little warrior rotation. Child's pose is where you sit back on your knees and you bend forward, usually resting your head on the floor, and you extend your arms out in front of you. And this is different than extended puppy pose. The two are kind of coming together, but not quite yet. Usually you start in the extended puppy pose where your arms are outstretched. Your thighs to your calves are about like at a 90-degree angle. You can rest your head on the floor, but a lot of people prefer to keep it lifted. And you're similarly to down dog, you're stretching your tailbone up and the crown of your head kind of out towards your hands and then down to the floor. And then obviously if you sit back all the way, your bum onto your lower legs, then you get child's pose. Butterfly pose is where you sit and extend your legs and you touch your feet together. A lot of people then will either place their hands on their feet or their hands on the floor and bend forward. Almost like you're trying to touch your nose to the floor. You do want to make sure though with this pose that you keep your back straight, that you don't arch it forward as you're trying to get that stretch in your hips, in your legs, and your back. And this pose is wind releasing pose. And in this posture, you lay on the floor and you pull your knees forward and hug them into your upper body. If you're able to, you can wrap your arms all the way around your legs. If not, you can just use your hands to pull your legs back. And that's it. Very straightforward for this class. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me again. Thank you so much for participating.